One unread message lights the dark ledge. Your hand moves before you decide, then your hand pulls back. Why can one reply feel this heavy? Before you touch the phone, its pale glow reaches the frosted window. You are not trying to ignore anyone. You already know you will answer. But the moment asks for warmth, attention, and the right tone before your mind has gathered any of them. You wait long enough for a thin thread of steam to fade beside the lamp. Care and readiness do not always arrive together. You can care deeply and still need time before words feel honest. So why does that quiet gap begin to feel like something you did wrong? Halfway above the white charging puck, the phone stops under your palm. You lift it, read the same line, and begin arranging an answer. The facts are easy. The harder part is making the reply sound close enough, warm enough, and completely untroubled. You set the phone back, and pale screen glow reaches the empty chair. Nothing is sent. A usable answer was already there. You change it once to sound warmer, then again to hide how tired you felt. Nothing dramatic happened. Still, the unfinished reply now follows you. It is no longer waiting only on the screen. It has entered the rest of your day. A clean towel lies half folded. The vibration comes while your hands have a rhythm. One fold stops in the middle. You reach toward your pocket, remember the answer still needs a better opening, and leave both the message and the towel unfinished. Your thumb catches at the edge of your pocket. You try to return to the rhythm, but part of your attention stays elsewhere. Did they notice the delay? Are they reading silence as distance? Your hands resume, yet the task no longer feels simple. Around the folding table, other people finish and move away. The space you left becomes clear. Your own small interruption remains visible. It breaks the pace you were trying to recover. The cost of the message is not only the missing reply, it is the ordinary action that never gets your full attention back. Cold light spills from the open freezer. You came here to make one simple choice. Then your pocket pulls your attention sideways. The door stays open while you rehearse a sentence you still do not send. Even the cold begins to feel like a deadline. With the door still open, a thin cloud gathers beside the metal edge. The message has not changed, but the setting has. Now the delay costs attention, time, and a little energy. The pressure keeps moving into whatever you were doing before the phone interrupted it. You close the tote zipper beneath the cold aisle light. You no longer remember what you meant to choose. That is the first quiet loss. A short message can occupy more space than the task in front of you, even while the screen stays hidden. The checkout slip bends between two fingers. Your other arm turns toward your pocket before the transaction is finished. No new signal appeared. So what exactly are you responding to now? The message or the fear of what your silence might mean to someone else? Beside the book stack, the screen light looks weaker. The battery has fallen, although nothing was sent. This is reply rehearsal. The answer exists, but you keep practicing the feeling around it. The delay is active, even without a sent word. You are spending energy on contact without completing the contact. A blank postcard rests beneath clear museum light. Beside it, the digital draft has been revised again. The postcard could hold one honest sentence. The phone seems to demand a perfect version of you, one who is warm, on command, and never difficult to reach. Your eyes pause in the museum glass. A simple answer would be true, yet true no longer feels sufficient. You imagine the missing warmth, the short line that could look cold, and the tiny pause that another person might turn into a story. After your hand lowers, your reflection remains in the glass. You have not rejected the sender. You have rejected several versions of your own tone. That difference matters. The delay is growing because the reply has become a performance, not because your care has disappeared. A small recording glow warms the edge of the phone. Speaking should be easier than typing. Instead, you hear yourself trying to manufacture ease. Your voice becomes brighter than you feel. The first few words sound borrowed, so the recording stops before it becomes a message. Your mouth opens, then closes against the quiet park air. How many times can a reply begin without being sent? Each attempt looks small from outside. The effort is real, but invisible. Inside, you have already greeted them, explained yourself, softened the delay, and anticipated the answer that may follow. You leave the space beside you untouched. You do not play the attempt back. The harder part comes later. After enough rehearsal, even hearing your own voice feels like another demand. The park remains calm around that decision. Silence starts to look easier than one more correction. By the night window, steam no longer rises from the mug. You sat down to rest, but the reply came with you. The room is quiet. Your mind is not. It keeps testing openings, removing phrases, and checking whether ordinary honesty sounds caring enough. Rain dots hold a crossing light inside the black glass. The signal changes while you remain seated. You imagine a typing bubble appearing, then disappearing. There may be no deadline at all. Still, your body treats imagined movement on another screen like time running out. After the crossing light moves on, the dark reflection stays. What have you done all evening? Not nothing. You have carried a conversation that never began. You have adjusted your tone for a reaction that never arrived. That hidden work explains why one unread line can leave you tired. A faint battery glow barely reaches the repair counter. Earlier, the falling charge looked like ordinary use. Now it shows the scale of the loop. The phone looks tired because you are. Hours of lifting, checking, drafting, and withdrawing have consumed real capacity without producing one completed moment of contact. Across an empty chair, the cue light changes. Other people move when their turn arrives. Yours nearly passes while you stare at a dark screen. The outside world keeps completing small cycles. Only this one interaction remains open, and it quietly reorganizes everything around it. Your shoulders settle lower against the waiting counter. But here's the strange part. You have been emotionally responding all day. The sender has received none of it, yet your attention has paid for every version. Care and readiness were separate, but guilt kept treating them as one. A narrow receipt curls from the small printer. The quick mechanical movement feels like a vibration. Your hand reacts before the paper stops. Then you see the phone is dark. No message arrived. The body has learned the loop well enough to restart it alone. As the counter clears, your elbow turns toward the pocket. Is this still a choice? The first reach came from concern. This one comes from conditioning. Nothing new is asking for attention. Your body is offering attention in advance, before anything new has happened. Open space returns to the market counter. You let the reach end without checking. Nothing is solved. The unread line still exists. Yet one automatic movement has failed to complete itself, and the small break reveals that availability had become a habit before it became a decision. Against the dim cinema wall, weak screen light remains. You lower the brightness until the message becomes faint. This is not punishment or avoidance. It is the first reduction of input all day. The phone remains present, but it stops lighting the whole space around your attention. Your thoughts remain busy after the corridor glow leaves, and that is where it changes. Relief does not arrive because the reply vanished. It begins when the reply is allowed to be unfinished without demanding another rehearsal during every empty second. For once, the dark pocket stays still beneath the corridor light. The familiar reach does not begin. Then the real signal arrives a moment later. That difference is smaller than guilt made it seem. Do you need a perfect emotional performance now, or only a sentence that is true about your present capacity? Beneath the phone, the familiar counter edge waits. You lift it with the same hand and the same small tension. This time, you do not reopen every draft. You do not predict every possible reading. You stay with the shortest, honest version without reopening the rest. Morning light reaches the back of the phone. One sincere reply leaves without polished warmth. It says enough to make contact, but not enough to pretend you were ready earlier. The unread line becomes one completed action. The conversation does not continue on screen. Face down on the shelf, the phone rests beside a loose charging cable. No immediate answer appears. The silence after sending feels different from the silence before it. Before, you were withholding an unfinished performance. Now you have made honest contact without promising endless access to the minutes that follow. You close the same tote zipper with both hands. Your attention quietly returns to the task that was waiting beside the phone. Care was present during the delay. Speed was never its proof. The clearer boundary is whether the reply is sincere, not whether you remain available after sending it.